Well, take a look at this guardrail. You might not notice anything strange, but 10 investigates uncovered this is improperly installed. And safety advocates say so is this one, and this one, and this one.
All of these, safety advocates say, are improperly installed on Florida roads, which means if you crash into one of them, they are not going to work the way that they are supposed to, resulting in many times tragedy. Now, because of our findings, changes are coming. You're watching 10 Tampa Bay at 6. I'm Carolina Lead.
And I'm Dave Wagner. 10 Investigates Jennifer Titus is live for us tonight in Pinellas County, where, Jen, you have a guardrail right behind you here.
Yeah, Dave, it's easy to find one of these along Florida roads. The Florida Department of Transportation telling me there's 4,700 miles of guardrails in the state. And because of our investigation, there's going to be a statewide review of every single one of them. This investigation. Oh, it's cold. Takes us thousands of miles away from Florida to Belvedere, Illinois.
Here it is.
To sit down with this man.
I don't think your story has truly ever been told.
As he shares for the first time ever what happened to him along this Florida road.
What was the date of the accident?
October 29th, 2010. I remember we were driving, we were going the speed limit. Even though it says that we were speeding, I'm like really sure that we weren't going over the speed limit. If not, it was like a little bit over. But like, we swerved to miss like a Labrador or some big dog. We go, like this is the guardrail. We swerve like this. We touch the dirt and the back left of the back tire of the truck slides a little bit.
The truck then hits this guardrail.
To my understanding, guardrails are supposed to crumble like an accordion, kind of give cushion. I know it's metal, so it's not supposed to be soft, but this thing impaled the truck like a harpoon.
Charley's leg impaled.
Then I woke up and I was without my left foot. I was like, Mom, did I lose my leg? And she was like, yes. And like, she started bawling. And waterworks on me. I just started crying. I didn't think I was that hurt.
The weeks, the months, the years since the accident. Life has never been the same.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much pain do you live with on a daily basis now?
Nowadays, I would say good day about 4. Let's say 4 on a bad day when it's cold and maybe I slipped or something, or if I have an open sore, 27.
Here's the thing. It's a pain Charley says he shouldn't have because the accident should have never happened.
I was mad because if that guardrail wasn't there, we would have been fine.
When you get out of the hospital and then you do learn that this guardrail was improperly installed, how did you find that out, and how did you feel?
I felt cheated, kind of, and anger, very, because of the whole situation.
Charley filed this lawsuit against the Florida Department of Transportation after the accident. The lawsuit claims the truck crashed into a guardrail that Florida inmates improperly installed and says the state was negligent in failing to keep, operate, repair, and maintain safe conditions on State Road 33.
If you're gonna put something to help people, you gotta make dang sure it's built properly so it helps people.
The lawsuit ended up going nowhere. But 10 years since Charley's crash, 10 Investigates has located dozens of improperly installed guardrails across the state.
It makes me upset that I got hurt for nothing, and nothing changed. Nothing.
We compiled a database of improperly installed guardrails from Miami along I-4, I-75, the site of this deadly accident in Plant City back in January, and just feet away from the Florida Department of Transportation headquarters in Tallahassee.
There's a bolt through the rail where it shouldn't be. If they cannot protect themselves or Governor DeSantis, how It's got to change. It's got to come from their culture.
This is Steve Eimers. He helped us create our database by randomly locating guardrails throughout the state and adding them to our list.
Hitting the end of a guardrail can be a very violent act. The outcomes can be very spectacular and ugly. And it's very easy to miss the fact that one bolt in the wrong spot can kill you. An upside down part can kill you.
Steve was an EMT, not an engineer. He never went to school to study guardrails. But Steve's life was changed forever by one of these.
I knew my daughter's situation was reportedly critical. I said, will there be any transports? And they said no. And I didn't need a police officer to knock on my door at that point. I knew my daughter was dead.
Hannah died at 17 years old after her car crashed into a guardrail.
She walked out of our lives on the 31st, and we never saw her again. She had a guardrail go through her head. We were not even able to see her one last time. And it sent me down a rabbit hole that I'm not yet out of.
That rabbit hole has led him to analyzing guardrails on roadways across the country.
This is a systemic problem.
Within weeks of working with Steve, our database grew to 72.
And I've looked at that tiny percent. We're probably talking hundreds of potentially improperly installed guardrails.
And this guardrail is also missing the initial perforations.
We sent our database to University of Alabama Birmingham professor Kevin Schrum. The structural engineer agreed there are problems.
For the most part, I was able to confirm what he had said, and I found a lot of other things too that were wrong. The fact that a lot of those errors were very consistent in the same error was a little bit alarming.
We then sent our database to FDOT.
So are all of those the emails that we sent to FDOT?
Yeah. I think I counted there were like 10 of them, but I think you sent even more.
And we tried and tried again to get answers from FDOT. We were able to track down this video produced on the agency's YouTube page where Durwood Shepard,
I'm the state standard plans engineer here in central office at the state roadway design office.
talks about the significance of installing guardrails correctly.
It's very important to install those components the way they were crash tested and in the manner in which the installation's instructions tell you do based on what's provided from the manufacturer. Because if you don't, creating increased stiffness in the system can lead to results like you see on the screen here, where the guardrail kinks and doesn't extrude properly or becomes a penetration hazard into the vehicle compartment.
A hazard Charley Pike knows too well.
Why do I have to pay to walk? Because I got hurt because someone else messed up, and now I have to pay for it? That stinks. At the most simplest of terms, like, why do I have to pay to just be able to walk?
And back out here live, while FDOT would not talk to us on camera because of our findings, they are now doing a statewide review of every single inch of guardrail on their roads to make sure that they are properly installed. Unfortunately, though, this news comes too late for the family of Hunter Burns.
Something just didn't sit right, but it wasn't like I was going to go and search for something. I don't know if the guardrail would have saved Hunter. I don't know that. I can't speak for that. But now knowing what I know, the guardrail failed miserably at being able to protect any person on the roadway.
And tomorrow night, we will introduce you to his parents. And while our safety experts call his guardrail one of the most egregious installs they have ever seen, we will also take a look at other guardrails we have labeled as Frankenstein, a monster of a story that we will have for you in part 2 of Unguarded tomorrow night at 6. For now, we're live in Pinellas County. Jennifer Titus, 10 Investigates.
If you want to check out a list of guardrails that our safety advocate found were improperly installed, go to our story at 10tampabay.com/10investigates.